Welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode 51! Or is it like...
51? 50.
Something like that. I don't know. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast. I am your host, as always, Nathaniel Janc, otherwise known as the Nintendo Prime. And to my left and your guys' right is the co-host with the mostest. He's made almost every episode we've ever had.
Pretty much.
I think like 2 you missed. Maybe 3.
The reboot,
Work.
Yeah.
Things were happening. You were gone. Like, I know there was, like 10 episodes ago, you were gone for like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. You're supposed to be gone 2 weeks in a row, and then you were gone 1 week back, 1 week.
Yeah. It was insane. I don't know.
We're back. We're here to have a very good time. And no, our current topic still in this layout still doesn't work. So sorry, guys. I know.
Right.
Well, I mean, technically, this podcast isn't really set up to have just 2 people, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm actually curious. Does this work? Does the N and E show button work? I mean, it'll switch it, but will our camera angle be correct?
Oh.
Almost.
Oh, hey. Well, hey,
that's actually not half bad. That's not half bad.
I'm just not in the right spot.
I'm centered. You're not. So, I mean, for those listening to the audio version, you're like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, we have special things we can do with the video version, but we don't technically have that set up to use at the moment because what we're talking about today doesn't require that we have to show you anything today. But we do have that capability if we ever needed to do it. So, Eric, how you doing?
Not too bad.
I literally feel like you've been here for like a couple hours and I haven't even really said a word to you other than here's your food, eat.
Yeah, here's my food, eat.
Here's your food, eat.
Right. Yeah, well, no, we really haven't done much. I know, you had your kids, for sure.
That took an hour.
I was going to say, I ended up watching a couple episodes. I ended up watching a couple episodes of the 2017 DuckTales. It's definitely been interesting. Yeah.
How's the week been?
Not terrible. A little tired today, but not as terrible as I normally am. So, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. It's been a long week. Wow. I will say some of the long weeks just part of being a parent, right? So I got my kids have their spring concerts and everything this week, and they go to different schools. So like that's eating up. Tomorrow I got another one to go to. But besides that, it's been a pretty nice last week. Just really busy. A lot of stuff going on with family, but also been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work on Prime Gaming Fest that we will share, or at least talk about some of those details tonight. Some of you guys might know some of the details we're going to talk about. Some don't. Some things might get decided right here on the podcast while we're live, because Eric and I haven't really had a truly long sit-down to really organize everything.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
We just haven't had time.
Yeah, right.
It's busy as hell.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're not going to have time till like the day before, and that's scary.
Right.
That's very scary. We have to do inventory still on all of our physical items.
Which there is a ton.
And there's more still coming. I'm scared. We have more physical items being given away this year than at last year's E3 extravaganza already. And there's still more coming. It's not scary. It's just a lot. Put it this way. If I moved the pile over to this desk, there would be no room. The whole desk would be covered, guys. Mm-hmm. It's insane. And there's more coming. I just had confirmation of shipping today for 10 Ghoulie Kit King Kong Pro 2 controllers. $70 each, Hall sensors, no drift, amazing triggers, have all of the features of the Pro controller. Literally the best controller for Switch. I literally made a video calling it. They didn't pay me for it. I made a video calling it the best controller for Switch. I wasn't joking. And we're going to have like 10, technically I think 11 to give away. They were sold out on Amazon. I made my video. Within 24 hours, they sold out on Amazon. And by the way, I wasn't the only one to make a video on it, right? I think Bob Wolf made a video on it around that same time. He did. I don't know that he called it the best controller for Switch, but he really liked the original King Kong controller, and he did end up really enjoying the King Kong Pro 2 controller. But I had the more clickbaity title, I think, which made a lot of people watch my video go, "Oh shit, I gotta buy that thing."
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the comment section mentioned that I'm buying this now, and a whole bunch of you guys have actually gotten your King Kong Pro 2 controllers now off the Amazon, and love it. It's been nothing. Like, for once, it felt good to make a video or a product, and I actually believed it is the best. And then other people buy it, and then they confirm, holy shit, Nate's right. This is like a game changer. Why the hell didn't I buy this controller? And we're going to have 11 of them to give away, even though they can't keep them in stock on Amazon. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Hopefully.
No, it's confirmed. It's shipped.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's shipped. All 10 are in the package. I saw the box.
Yeah.
Saw the box. Saw them drop it off.
Okay.
So it's coming. As long as it doesn't get stolen.
Oh, right. That's why I said hopefully.
But, I mean, that's it. USPS can fuck off. But, yeah, we have a lot. There's packages literally arriving every day. We had another package arrive today. More coming. More to do. We still haven't made our trip to the local game store yet to grab some more stuff. Because we have a really amazing. We didn't have this last year locally.
No,
a really
I had picked
amazing
some stuff
local
up down on the cross.
Nerd style
PopCon,
basically. Yeah. And it's got so much crazy stuff, and we're not like going to go in and buy out the store or anything, but we're going to get some items from there. We already have a couple art pieces from there, but we're going to get some more. And don't worry, when we ship those art pieces, we'll probably put them in like a plexiglass frame or something like just a cheap frame from Walmart, basically, just to make it to you. I really don't care if the plexiglass survives. It just matters that the art survives. I did think about, though, this year that we could do tubes, possibly roll them up, because when you get them yourself, you're going to reframe them anyways, guys.
Generally, yeah.
So, I don't know. It works for posters. I don't know why the only difference would be if we got some of those lenticular art.
Right.
You can't roll those ones up.
I mean, you could try, but
I don't know that it would end well.
No, probably not.
But anyways, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we have a lot more stuff we're going to be adding to the pile. So don't worry. If you want more information on that, I've been posting pictures on Twitter like every day when we get new stuff coming in. But we will eventually, once it's been finalized on all the physical items, really start the advertising campaign on the physical stuff we're giving away. But then I also want to start including like images of all the digital code, not all the digital code, but each digital game we're giving away, like superimposed on the image as well, so people can see just everything we're giving away.
Remember to be careful so we don't forget an item like we did last year.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
Anyone who gets mad at me, because I put up an advertising post, right, for the show, and if there's an item in that post that we somehow forgot about because we have so many items, we legitimately forgot to give away an item last year. I'm going to kindly ask that anybody who's going to have a gripe with that, just unsubscribe now and go watch somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest,
yeah,
I don't have to give away jack shit. I don't have to work with these companies. I don't have to spend my money. In fact, I have a cruise coming up. I could just cancel the whole show, return my stuff, and buy every single amenity on my cruise, upgrade to the giant royal suite in the tower because it's still not rented out yet because nobody can afford it. Well, I can afford it if I return all my stuff.
Well, I mean, what are you talking about? Just eBay right there. I mean, that would completely sell it.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not eBay.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that would pay for it.
That would pay for a couple cruises. I'm not kidding, guys, when I say we already have almost $3,000 worth of physical items to give away. Almost $3,000 right now. And then digital code wise, adding all that up. I mean, we're I think right on the cusp of breaking 100 digital codes, and there's even more coming. So I'm stoked, guys. This is going to be an amazing celebration of gaming, an amazing time. And by the way, those digital codes don't include eShop gift cards, which I still haven't purchased yet, but I am going to be purchasing them, unlike last year, ahead of time, and the codes are going to be on the sheet that we keep track.
Yeah,
that way we can just get you the digital codes right away for certain eShop gift cards we give away. The only difference will be if there's a spontaneous one, but I'm going to purchase it while I'm giving it away, so we have it.
Thank you.
I'm not going to wait till later because then people bitch and it gets confusing. We're going to be more on top of it this year. Stuff we learned from last year.
Hopefully.
The only thing, we will. The only thing I will say is if there's a giveaway for a future game, I obviously don't have the code yet. So if we decide, because say Nintendo does some big Breath of the Wild 2 blowout, and I say screw it, let's give away a couple copies of Breath of the Wild 2. Cool. Well, I can't give you the code yet.
No, I mean, yeah.
But that's obviously understandable. So we'll worry about that. We'll cross that road when we get there because I'm kind of spontaneous. Sometimes I throw some extra giveaways in there depending on the budget available at the time. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that. So have you been playing any games lately?
Just Lego Star Wars. Still just going after it. I beat the first 3 stories, and I think I've decided I'm going to go in the trilogies. So play through the first trilogy of story, and then loop back 100% that story or that trilogy.
That's the kind of gamer he is.
And then next trilogy, loop back 100% that one.
So
it should get easier as time goes on because of the multipliers and shit. But
like, if you ever wonder the difference between Eric and I in a game, like I play more games than he does, but when he dives into a game, it's 100%. He's going for everything. He ain't pussyfooting around.
At least trying to, anyways.
As long as he enjoys the game, of course. Obviously, if he doesn't end up liking it, he'll end up not doing that. Like I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild, you did not get all the Korok seeds.
No.
You didn't 100% it, you bastard.
No, God, no. I think
did you get all the shrines?
Oh, yeah. When I beat it, I think it was 37%
complete.
Apparently, yeah.
So you didn't do all the side quests. There's a lot of side quests. There's a shitload of side quests.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's probably Korok seeds and
Korok seeds are a good chunk of the percentage.
Photos of everything.
Does anyone remember how much the Korok seeds, like from Korok seed 1 to 900, how much of that is the total percent of completion? I'm actually very curious. Like, is that like 30%? I'm actually very curious how much of the percentage it is. I don't know. I've never collected all 900. My main playthrough that no longer exists, that had like 500 plus hours into it, I had like 700 plus seeds, but I didn't get them all.
That can't be. 72%.
It makes up 72% of the completion percentage?
Apparently.
No way. Is it really 72%?
900 Korok seeds. See Korok seed location, 72%.
So basically, you just didn't do the Korok seeds.
Yeah, pretty much. Apparently. Shit. Well, now I got to go do it.
Now you got to go do it.
Now I got to go do it.
You don't even 50% done because you didn't do the Korok seeds.
Well, fuck.
Holy shit. That is a huge percentage. Yeah. 72% of the game for completion percentage is Korok seeds.
Yep. Well,
holy
son
shit.
of a bitch. Now I got to go back and do it.
That's a big fucking game. There's so many side quests, and that still only makes up 38%.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I did
all the side quests.
The majority of the side quests, yeah.
Holy crud.
That is absolutely insane.
That explains why my completion percentage was much higher than yours when I had 700 Korok seeds, and I didn't do all the side quests because the Korok seeds make up more of the side quests.
Yeah.
Like there's still that one village, that one secret village I still to this day haven't visited.
Hold on. The best part is, it's the 4 divine beasts make up only 0.32% of the game.
Well, I mean, they aren't that.
No, I know they're not.
I mean, they're a big part of the story,
right?
But they're like
some of the biggest, quote unquote, biggest parts of the game only makes up like
the dungeons,
nothing of the game.
It's the dungeons.
Obviously, but that's just insane.
Yeah. Joyce CJ accidentally collected all the Korok seeds. I didn't mean to. Are you sure, Joyce? I know how much you love Zelda. I don't know if that's a accident. It's more like you weren't keeping count, but you kept doing it anyways. I don't know you can accidentally find all 900. Like, I'm not saying that you intentionally go out to do it, but you are exploring the map so much. What?
Honestly, everything looks like it's... Oh, no, never mind. That's point... Yeah, everything is 0.08%. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, all 9 Korok seeds are 0.08%. Each Divine Beast is 0.08%.
They made it very consistent map-wise.
Yeah, they did, actually.
Good on them. Good on them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, anyways. Well, Joyce, what's funny is what you've proven in not looking for them, but accidentally picking up all 900 or whatever, is that if you're really, really into exploration and you take the time to explore the entire world, you're just going to find all the Korok seeds just by exploring the world, you know? And like, what the hell? That looks out of place over there. Let me touch something. Oh, Korok.
Yeah, literally. I just looked at the breakdown of it. Everything is literally, pretty much everything is literally 0.08% or 0.09%.
That's crazy. So over here, I did play a few Madden games. I don't really count that, just because I'm in some leagues. I don't even play all my games in the leagues anymore. I'm probably getting to the point that I'm going to cut down to maybe one league and then eventually stop. Just kind of, I'm kind of waiting for the next one, right? August, new one comes out, new season. Kind of waiting to see what happens with that.
Got the rooks.
Get the rooks, like how rooks are actually going to be rated rather than fan rated. It's gonna be interesting. And then besides that, I did finally get my Switch charged up all the way. That's a start. It's sitting right here. It's been dead for 2 weeks.
With Mario and the headphones.
And some other things happening with Mario.
Yeah.
The Switch is finally charged, which means I will be playing some tonight. That's what that means. I've noticed that when I don't keep my Switch charged and it dies, I just end up not playing it. But when it's charged, I play it. And I don't keep a charger in my room. And that's usually where I'm playing my Switch when I'm not doing live streams or recording footage. But I need to get back into playing anyways because we got those 4K Gamer Pros that I want to do a video on. Mm-hmm. And some of the games that people want footage of, it's not like I need a bunch of, and I don't need a ton of footage, right, guys? I need like a couple minutes and, various games, a couple minutes of it without the 4K Gamer Pro, a couple minutes with, and then, across like a dozen games or something. It still adds up to like a half hour, 40 minutes of gameplay, but I want to make sure like I want to, there's some moments in some of the games I want to capture that I think will look best that would actually require that I remember how to play them. Like if I went and played Breath of the Wild right now, I'd probably just get my ass kicked because I don't even remember how to, the controls.
By the way,
I probably couldn't even draw a bomb out right now and throw it.
Right.
When I don't continuously play games, I'm not at that age anymore that it's like riding a bike. It's not like riding a bike. It's not. It's not. Let me tell you, I didn't ride a bike for 10 years. I got on a bike last week, could ride it just fine. Sorry, me playing video games and I haven't played Breath of the Wild since, E3 last year? It ain't like riding a bike.
I don't know.
It's not. I'm sorry. It's not.
I haven't played Mario 64 in God knows how long.
Wild before E3 last year.
It came back to me like a bike.
It had been a year and a half. Yeah, I'm talking about me. It's been a year and a half since I played Breath of the Wild. When I played it before E3 last year, I played it a little bit because I knew I would end up playing it during boring parts of the E3 show. And I literally forgot how to draw my bow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I'm not, by the way, I will say it's not like I'm playing the game like I've never played it before because I could pick up all the controls pretty much within a half hour. But still, that first half hour, I look like I
look like you would never.
I look like Yulia, like I've never touched twin stick gaming in my life, and I don't know what I'm doing. It's bad, and it frustrates you because you're like, I remember being really good at this at one point.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, right. My brain just forgets when I don't play for a long period of time. The only games that I will say kind of stay the same, Mario Kart. I cannot play that for years. Pick it right back up, and I'm probably just as good as I was years ago. Why? The controls haven't changed in Mario Kart in how long?
Yeah.
Like ever? I don't know. It feels like it's been the same almost all the way dating back to the N64. I know that there's been some slight tweaks here and there, but for the most part, the basic gameplay stayed the same, so it's pretty easy. A to accelerate, B not to, power slide, throw items.
Yeah.
Pretty basic, right?
Yeah.
So that to me is a bit like riding a bike when I play. And like you said, when you picked up Mario 64, it was like riding a bike for you. Well, I'm sure it was. One, it's like one of your favorite games, if not the favorite.
I played
game of all
the
time.
absolute shit.
And you played way more of that than I. I mean, I've beaten it a couple times, but how many times have you beaten it?
Several, in forward and reverse.
See, that's I don't have any game that I've done that with.
Yeah.
And Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time, and I put a lot of hours into it. But that's kind of it comes down to the kind of gamer I am, though. So a lot of gamers replay games over and over and over again. I don't, and that's part of the reason why I forget, because since I don't put it in the muscle memory, like, I'll play my game, I'll get my 100 hours in, and I'm good. I never come back to it again. So if I do end up coming back to it, it's like, this is one of your favorite games. Look how much you suck at it. Like, okay, can we chill on that? But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. People are very judgmental when you're like, you're not a real gamer. Look how much you suck. I'm like, okay, let's play a game I actually play right now. And then you tell me I suck. I probably still suck. Never claimed to be good at video games, by the way. I have not been cocky about being awesome at video games since I was like 20.
Right.
Just to be completely honest. Yeah. Like back when I cared about being good and being competitive. Right. When I usused to do I was actually in like actual Madden leagues and stuff. I cared about being good. Now I just don't really care that much. My competitive juices are gone.
Do you want to blow your mind?
Unless
a little bit more.
Eric.
A little bit more.
What?
So But I'm just stuck on this Breath of the Wild shit. This is absolutely crazy. So the things that actually count towards the 100% are the Divine Beast,
Sure.
the shrines,
Yep.
locations, which I think is like, you know, your,
All the
your
discovery.
stables, your
The discovery.
towns.
Sure.
Yep.
The discovery locations.
Yep. And then the Korok seeds.
That you can like. Okay.
So the main quest does not go towards your 100%. Your side quests do not go towards
beating
100%.
The final boss doesn't go
No.
towards it.
No.
So beating the Divine Beast, which is part of the main quest, does.
Yes.
Finding all the memories doesn't.
Nope. That's part of the main quest.
You don't have to find the memories for a completion percentage. Your main quests do not. Your main quest, your side quest, your shrine. I'm sorry, Nintendo.
Shrine quest.
It's not 100% if I don't have to do everything to
your
get 100%.
captured memories.
What?
Your Hyrule Compendium.
Wait, what did I say? Wait, go back.
So main quests, side quests, shrine quests, which are the quests to unlock the shrines. The captured memories, Hyrule Compendium, Resurrection Towers, Medals of Honor, armor sets and upgrades, and horse gear. Those do not count towards your percentage.
That's not. Nintendo. Someone could 100% the game without actually 100%ing the game. What?
Yeah, apparently.
What?
So to answer the question in chat, no, chests do not count towards the 100%.
What? Nintendo. You better fix this in Breath of the Wild 2. This is now my new main complaint on Breath of the Wild 1. Forget wanting to repair items, forget wanting dungeons, forget everything else. The only complaint I have is your 100% checklist is not a 100% checklist. What the? Fix it! Well, you're not going to fix it now, but fix it for the next game.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How can parts of the main quest, finding
the whole main quest
are like one of the biggest parts of the game.
Not just parts of the main quest, the whole main quest.
The whole main quest. No, the Divine Beast.
No, well, that's because they're shrine.
They're part of the main quest.
They're a shrine.
Oh, but they are part of the main quest.
They are.
You don't have to do them.
That
to
is
beat
true.
The game.
Yeah.
Makes the game harder, but you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. I told you. I was gonna blow your mind on that one. I agree.
And just think, it's the most highly rewarded game of the year ever. Has like the most game of the year awards of all time.
Yeah.
And they can't even get 100% completions right.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joycey. The pet dogs. Be able to pet the dogs. Yeah.
There's been an achievement for it.
Yeah, right.
Put achievements in the Excel of the game. That'll fix it all, right? Fine, you're not going to count it as a completion percentage? Then make beating the main quest an achievement. Maybe it doesn't count as a completion percentage, but
it's an achievement.
It's an achievement. We gotta have achievements for
you good at games. Achievement.
You good at games. Oh, you kill Lionel. Oh, you get an achievement.
Oh boy.
Oh, you kill Gold Lionel. No damage. Achievement.
All right, on that.
You one shot.
On that note.
One shot. Yeah, use the ancient arrows. One shot.
Yeah.
One shot all the hard stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess let's get it right into our topics. The first topic, Eric, what do we got? It's the easiest one to talk about.
Is there going to be a Nintendo Direct next month?
Will it happen?
What
do we expect?
Our expectations?
So there's been a couple rumors floating out there around a Nintendo Direct next month. Obviously, Nintendo has done a Direct or a presentation, because they haven't always done Directs, every single June for like the last... Hold on. I'm trying to think. I think dating back to 95.
It helps when E3 is in June.
I know. But dating back to like 1995, whenever the very first E3 was, Nintendo's had a presentation every single year in June except for 2020. 2020 happened to be the only year until this year there was no E3. So when there wasn't an E3, there was no Direct or presentation in June. And there's no E3 this year. So if you want to look at history's telling you we had a weird, strange Verizon 5G laden E3 last year, and guess what? Nintendo showed up and did a Direct. But without E3, Nintendo technically has never done a presentation in June without an E3. So I want to be the devil's advocate for a moment and go, hey, history tells you no E3, no Nintendo.
And I see that and throw it out the window. I don't know. Part of me just feels like, even though they won't necessarily call it part of Summer Gaming Fest, I just have a feeling that they'll kind of ride the coattails of it a little bit and probably have one that quote unquote last day of it, or we don't. Then again, we don't know what the fuck days are. We don't know what days they are. So
let me clarify. Summer Game Fest. So finally, having talked to someone who's helping organize the event, Summer Game Fest is just a day. It's just June 9th. That's it.
So then why the hell are these people that are on like the 10th, 11th, and 12th saying they're part of Summer Game Fest?
They're not, actually.
So then why the fuck are they saying it?
Let me explain. So here's how they view, and this is why they view Summer Game Fest different than E3. E3 views itself as an umbrella. You need to all fall under our branding. Oh, you're going to do an Xbox Bethesda presentation? You're doing the E3 Xbox Bethesda presentation. Oh, you're doing a Nintendo Direct? You're doing the E3 Nintendo Direct. Hence why Nintendo hasn't always called it a Nintendo Direct. Sometimes they've called it a digital event. Whatever it is, it's always been based around E3's branding. So E3's been very forward on our brand, our brand, our brand. Which, hey, they sell merchandise. They do an in-person event. Usually, obviously, they haven't since 2019. So E3 is very inward thinking of, it's about us. It's not. It's actually about the game publishers, but it's about us. That's the way E3 thinks.
I mean, yeah.
Jeff Keighley's different. He views Summer Game Fest as basically a kickoff event and then a roadmap. So the kickoff event, he views it as, here's what we're doing. I'm partnering with all these companies. We're going to do our 3-hour event. Well, it's going to be longer than that because they're doing a day of devs as well, which is where they interview a bunch of developers. By the way, E3, a really great idea. Maybe you should take some...
Yes. That might be their online portion next year.
So what they're doing is, how Jeff Keighley views it is, we're going to kick off all of these events coming by having a bunch of announcements at our event. Some of these announcements teasing future events. Like there might be some Xbox Bethesda announcements during his big kickoff event that's going to be teasing, hey, find out more June 12th. Right? But the Xbox Bethesda event is not branding itself as a Summer Game Fest event. So what he's doing is he's using the Summer Game Fest brand to say, hey, the only thing that he feels when it comes to the presentation aspect, not the show floor stuff, but the presentation aspect that E3, or in this case, his version of E3, should be involved in is giving people a roadmap of everything that's happening, because it might be impossible for someone to keep up with everything that's happening without some sort of roadmap. So basically, go to summergamefest.com and you can see the events that are going to be happening. None of them are hosted by Summer Game Fest except for day one. And his goal with that is to make all the companies feel like they're equally independent, equally important, and equally not being treated any different than anybody else. What's interesting is how it's going to end up playing out. I have no idea. Like, I think Jeff Keighley is going to appear on camera on a live stream more than just day one. I don't think he's a... But it's all about, I guess, how it's going to work. Because they're still organizing it somehow. I don't know why, but they still are. So Jeff Keighley's only goal is to get all these companies, if they're going to do presentations, to do it within a set time frame that he can create the roadmap for. But none of it's going to be like, come to summergamefest.com and watch all these events. Like E3 last year. Come to E3 and watch all the stuff right here at E3. No. You come to us to find where all the stuff is at. So it's kind of like an organizational list. Which is fine. We do that already. Which, by the way, I can tell you right now, you don't need to go anywhere else. Everything will be here. Anything presented from June 9th to June 14th, all of it will be here. You won't
Unless
have to go
they overlap.
No, even if they overlap. I have a layout for that. We will have both.
All right.
And I'm even debating on doing right ear, left ear audio for it. So people can choose which audio they want to listen to.
Interesting.
Which, by the way, you can only choose the headphones, of course, but but still,
that might make people without headphones go absolutely insane. But you know,
well, it's one of those things where it kind of depends. Sometimes, during these presentations, there's some boring parts, so then you can be like, okay, it's kind of boring. Let's mute them, and focus the audio. Well, we'll keep it up in case something interesting starts to happen. Oh, they're showing a really cool game. Let's flip the audio and see what's going on. But yeah, we're just like last year where we had a thing where we could show multiple videos at once. We're going to have it this year as well in case there's some overlap. What's interesting, though, is even though Jeff Keighley views it as a roadmap, here's what I find weird. PC gaming show is happening this year. It's also happening June 12th. Future game show is happening this year. Shows Off Games, also happening June 12th. Neither are listed on summergamefest.com. But if you're just organizing when events are happening, well, those are gaming events. Do we not count them? We're gonna
because they're
them.
not single dev
focused, but that shouldn't matter.
I mean, they're their own.
I don't know
show,
but based on what he said, it should. I don't know. So my thing is, we're gonna have it all here, so it's not really gonna matter. None of the times actually conflict with each other so far with Xbox, Bethesda, PC Gaming Show. It's like almost like they planned all the shows around each other's times. Perfect for us. Basically, Sunday is gonna be a very busy day, which is cool. Sunday is gonna feel like an E3 day with back-to-back conferences. That's going to be sweet. And I'm going to love the hell out of that.
Until they all turn out to be Verizon.
Until they all turn out to be Verizon.
Shoot me now.
But we'll see what else happens. We don't know who else is going. Rumor has it Ubisoft isn't going to be doing anything besides the kickoff event. They're not going to do it Ubisoft Forward. Maybe they just don't have enough to show. I don't know yet about Square Enix. I know Square Enix has a Saga event coming up on like the 31st. May 31st. But we'll see what happens. And we obviously don't know about Nintendo. So, as a Nintendo focused YouTube channel, obviously one of the number one events we care about the most is Nintendo. And obviously the whole reason we care about Ubisoft is because, hello, Mario plus Rabbids.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean we can't see Mario plus Rabbids at Summer Game Fest. Totally can. It could totally be shown off at the kickoff event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ubisoft is one of the partners. They're going to show off stuff. That could be one of the games.
Sure, that's probably one of their bigger games, too, that they have.
I mean, it could be. Well, they're going to have bigger. I mean, sales-wise, for a single platform, it's one of the best games they have coming out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I don't have any inside information on any games that are specifically going to be shown. I hear the same murmurs and rumors everyone else does. Obviously, there's a little Silent Hill rumors out there. Is Konami going to show off something to Silent Hill? Or who knows? But I'm really, really excited for the prospect of Nintendo because while Nintendo has never put on a show in June without E3, it's a very small sample size. It's just 1 year E3 didn't happen, and that 1 year happened to be the first major year of COVID, where nobody really knew what to do. Everything was disorganized. Nintendo themselves didn't do a single Nintendo Direct the entire year. But guess what? We already got a Nintendo Direct this year back in February.
Mm-hmm.
We had them last year. Nintendo seems like they're back on track. And if they're back on track, like it definitely looks like with all the games coming out, no E3 should be no problem. Nintendo's going to stick to their schedule. I think they're going to stick to their schedule. There's no reason for them not to go in June.
Right.
Because one thing, I always said, Nintendo could do it in July, kind of clear everyone else and have like a whole news cycle to themselves. Nintendo does like that. Every company likes having a news cycle to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But what Nintendo also doesn't like is letting everyone else have the spotlight, and then they forget about little old Nintendo in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're the market leader. And they like to remind people why we're the market leader.
Right.
Games, and more games. We want to blow your mind with a 40-minute presentation of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which, I mean, that game looks great. Man, have you seen the new screenshots?
No.
So they've been putting out screenshots like every week. I mean, the pumping up the game is coming out in July, so this is what they do. Marketing.
Yeah.
My Lord. If you had showed me these screenshots 2 years ago, I would have looked at you and said, that's on Switch Pro. That's a new Switch. There's no way in hell that's on the current Switch. But that was also before we knew Nintendo was using FSR. So some people actually kind of proved in the initial trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that there's an FSR effect in play. So it's definitely using it. I want to know if it's using the new FSR. That's what I'm curious about. Because FSR, the first version of FSR isn't really that great. But the new version is. And I'm very curious if this is using FSR 2. If it is, that could explain why Some of those images are looking crispy. If you're looking for them, go to their Nintendo of America's Twitter account. They got 8 new screenshots up today. They look crispy. And I definitely think if there's a direct, which I would say my life savings of 45 cents at the moment, I would bet I'm going to be in a direct next month. Do you think there'll be a direct?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of throw my money in that direction too, just based off of, I don't know, gaming things happening.
Gaming things.
And E3 was probably supposed to be right around the same time too.
Sure.
So, I mean, I could see it happening. It would not surprise me either way. No, I guess it would surprise me if it didn't a little bit more.
If it didn't happen at all, that could be a little shocking because sure, they got games coming next month. They got 2 games, if I remember right. Yeah, 2. They've got on the 10th, Mario Strikers Battle League, which, by the way, we're giving away 2 copies of that right now as a promotion for Prime Gaming Fest. If one of our mods wants to grab the link and throw it in the chat, that'd be great. If people want to enter that giveaway who haven't done it yet. It's absolutely free, so why not? But then there's also...
Yeah, damn, those do look good.
Yeah. That does not look like a Switch game. I'm
No.
sorry. It just
No, it
doesn't. But it is. This July, baby.
Yeah, those look really good. Wow.
Yeah.
It's the first time seeing it. And
Yeah.
those look
Crispy.
really good.
Did you see the water ones yet from the Water World?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It looks so good. So I'm really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then I'm also really excited for this Direct because... Oh, yeah. The other game in June, by the way, I don't think I mentioned it. That is Fire Emblem Three Hopes. It's coming out in the second half of June, which is awesome because that's the game Yulia is looking forward to. The now 100%ed Fire Emblem Warriors. Do you guys know how hard it is to 100% a Warriors game?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
100... she might be more of a gamer than I am.
Yeah.
When's the last time I 100%ed a game? I don't even know if I know. Kirby's the closest I've come, and I haven't 100%ed it yet.
Either have I.
She 100%ed Fire Emblem Warrior. Here's the thing. Couldn't tell you a damn thing about the story. Doesn't give a shit. When cutscenes come up, she's like, rapid fire, like skips it, get back to the gameplay, please. Then she doesn't even realize what she's supposed to do in the quest. And then on top of that, when you ask Yulia her thoughts on the game, she's like, I don't know, it's just fun. You know what it reminds me of?
I mean, yeah.
That grandma that had what was it, 1,000 hours in Animal Crossing New Leaf?
Oh, yeah.
You could ask her all these intricate details about the game. She couldn't tell you. But it's fun.
But it's fun.
And that's all she could tell. And that's like with Yulia with Fire Emblem Warriors. It's fun. That's her only response. She couldn't tell you all the move sets. She couldn't tell you. She can tell. She does have a couple favorite characters. I think she's got 2 characters that she really, really loves to play with. But she couldn't tell you how to do the moves. She teach you how to do this, how to do that, how to solve certain things, how to get certain gear. She couldn't tell you. She just has so much fun that she played it to a point that she ended up 100%ing the game, by total accident.
She fell into the 100%. That's awesome.
I've never 100% a
awesome.
Warriors game in my life, and I never will. I don't have the patience for it. But I guess when it's just fun, things just happen. And what's funny in hearing her say that, and this reminds me of a lot of upcoming games for Switch, and why when I listen to some people who call Nintendo games for kids and stuff, it's at the core of why we play games is fun. Now, we can have fun in different ways. Maybe your fun is being scared. You like jump scares. So then you like certain types of horror games, right? Mm-hmm. That's the kind of fun you like. Some people like fun to be super, super difficult, right? So that's why they're into Souls games and stuff like that. Because they want things to be really hard. They like the challenge. They like getting their ass beat in for hours and hours and weeks on end, and then finally beating something that they didn't think they could beat, and the satisfaction from that is fun, right? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily fun getting beat in, but the satisfaction of triumphing through it, right? Kind of like when we used to do World of Warcraft raids all the time back in the old school days, 40-man raids. Like, there's a lot of triumph after you failed for months on end on a certain boss and finally get past it. It feels great. And I can speak from experience on that. So, I
can speak from tangential experience on that.
because he'd be sitting there many raid nights watching me, almost more into the raid than me. Actually, to be honest, he would help me out because like I'd be so focused on my healing. He'd be like, "Nate, move, go right, go right, go right. You're gonna get it."
Yep.
Like what? Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I'm so focused on these damn health bars.
Yep.
No. Need to prayer heal. Need to do this. Need to do that. To toss out a prayer amending. Get a flash heal in. Nate, move.
Yeah, right.
Don't worry, I hit the arrow button for you. Yeah. You're good.
Yeah, right. Whack.
But everyone plays games for different aspects that ultimately lead to what? Fun.
Yeah. Although, to a certain extent, to get a little deep here,
okay,
Nintendo games are for kids. My inner kid, your inner kid. I mean, when we grew up with as kids, gaming was like everything for us. So, but it targets, my inner kid, your inner kid.
I agree to an extent. But, like, I remember when I was a kid, I played my Marios. I played whatever. But what were the games I loved the most? The games I wasn't supposed to play. Conker's Bad Fur Day.
No, I mean, yeah.
Halo. Call of Duty. God, I played
what are you talking about?
I played the hell out of Doom.
What are you talking about? 8-year-olds are playing those all over the place nowadays.
But it's like that we were when we were kids, too.
Yeah.
The difference is the graphics weren't exactly like they are today.
What graphics?
Like they are today.
What graphics?
I mean, where you could barely tell the swastika on the wall.
You got that polygon over there, and yeah, sure.
Is that a swastika? I think that's a swastika. Oh yeah, that's a swastika. Oh, parents can't tell from a distance.
Yeah, right.
We're good. So like, but that's the thing though is when I hear this for a kid, I keep thinking, but isn't the point to have fun? Isn't the point of anything that we get entertained by? The act of being entertained is fun.
Entertainment, yeah.
It's just fun to be entertained.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways. Some people like watching people kill each other in gladiator games. Okay, cool. Enjoy your blood sport.
Yeah.
Think it's a little cruel, but hey, you know what? We don't do it anymore for a reason. So you do you. Actually, it probably does still happen somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
But what I'm saying is some people watch sports and get entertained. Some people watch movies and television shows. Some people play board games. Some people, go for runs and they actually enjoy running. That's cool. I wish I was one of you. I'd be in a lot better shape. Lie.
Why?
You're lying.
No.
You're lying. You don't enjoy it.
No, I said why.
You enjoy the adrenaline.
I said why.
You would rather get the adrenaline hit without the run, right?
Yeah, right.
Anyways.
No, why? No. Why? Not lie. Why?
But people do this stuff because it's fun. So whenever I hear like, oh, this game's for kids, and I go, okay. And what do you play? I play Elden Ring, dude. Cool.
That 8-year-old over there's playing it too. So is that game for kids? I mean, seriously.
How many children you want me to find who's playing Elden Ring because I think it's cool?
Plenty.
Like, what makes a game for kids? Oh, you just think it's a game intended for kids. That's fine. Nintendo does make their games to try to be for all ages, but it's just funny to me because we're all playing games for basically the same fundamental reason. So why does it matter if that fundamental reason doesn't if I play Mario and I'm having a lot of fun, you're playing Elden Ring and having a lot of fun, and you want to laugh at Mario, why? I would never laugh at Elden Ring. Well, of course you would. It's a deeply respected. You tell me Mario's not deeply respected?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Mario's one of the most
theme parks built around it.
I mean, Mario's one of the most recognized characters
Elden Ring if Mario didn't
in the
exist.
world.
Did we forget that Nintendo saved the game industry in the 80s? I'm sorry. Can we stop pretending that it really matters?
Yeah, that's a good point. The ones that say that those are for games are ended up playing Fortnite and PUBG.
But even then, I have nothing wrong with those games. Like,
no. But those are the ones that have a whole piss ton of kids playing them.
Whenever I hear someone say kids game, there's only a few games that come to mind that I legitimately go, that seems to be a kids game. Roblox.
I still know a lot of adults that play that too.
There's a lot of adults I know that play. There's probably people in my chat right now that played Roblox, right? Mm-hmm. Raise your hand in the chat if you played Roblox. I know most of my audience are adults, so no problem. By the way, enjoy your Roblox.
I mean,
but
my cousin still plays it with his kids.
But when I think of it as a kids game, is because what happens? I see majority of kids playing it because I have kids and all their friends play it.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of kids playing Roblox. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. Nothing wrong with kids playing it. Nothing wrong with adults playing it.
Yeah.
But what it goes to show is that our experiences are often based, our opinions anyways, are based on what we experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I experience a lot of kids playing Roblox. I view it as a kid's game. But then here's the funny thing. I also see a lot of kids playing Call of Duty. So when people say Call of Duty, it makes me think of kids as well.
Yep.
But it's rated M and shouldn't be for kids. But don't matter because parents don't give a shit.
Or don't know. I'm dead serious. There are some parents that it's like, you ask, it's like, you do realize what this is about? And they go, no. My kid just wants it.
That just goes into my parents don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not paying attention.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with the game being for kids, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's all about life experience. So I kept thinking, like, when people yell at me, oh, LOL, you play Mario, it's for kids. I'm like, I kept wondering, do they legitimately see a lot of kids playing Mario? And I'm going because of my life experience. I don't.
Yeah, right.
I actually don't see a lot of kids playing Mario. Every now and then. Like, my kids have played it, but it's not like something they addictively play all the time.
Right.
The people I see that actively play it all the time are adults. I go and wait in line for a game at GameStop, and I turn around and someone's playing Mario Odyssey, and they're in their mid-20s.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's kind of funny that, like, that's actually true of almost all Nintendo games, is I actually see it mostly young adults playing Nintendo games all the time. Yes, I see kids with Switch lights, and they're playing like Minecraft.
Yeah,
like,
right? Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're not really playing the Nintendo games.
Yeah.
By the way, this isn't saying they don't, but they don't seem to play them as obsessively as adults. And I think it's true of me too. I play Nintendo games more obsessively today than when I was a kid. I was playing more other people's games that I thought were cool when I was a kid. But as I got older, I started realizing, who cares if a game's cool or not, man?
I just want to have fun.
I just want to have fun.
Right?
Oh.
Gamers just want to have fun.
There we go.
There you go.
So, yeah. And I think that's really important when we think about this Direct in June. Because we're going to see a bunch of stuff at it that maybe aren't the big guns.
I just want to see more sparks of hope.
And that could be here. If Ubisoft doesn't show it at Summer Game Fest, then I am full belief it's being shown at a Direct.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I want a date. They confirmed it's coming out this fiscal year, which technically runs to March of 2023 for Ubisoft as well. So it could end up being a spring. And if it ends up coming out in spring at the same time Breath of the Wild comes out,
I'm pretty sure that they've still said. I'm pretty sure they still said they're still on track for this year, though.
Yeah, they said this fiscal year in the latest financial report. It's listed under this fiscal year. Which
no, I thought it was still 2022.
Yeah, it's 2022. Their fiscal year is 2022, 2023. Which, by the way, doesn't mean it's not coming 2022. You got to remember, when they do these financial reports, everything's about the current fiscal year. So things that don't have dates, they'll just say they're still coming within this fiscal year. Doesn't mean it won't come in 2022. Taker610, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. I want to read that.
Yeah, Andres says June 14th, Direct, and that's pretty much what I think.
So are we talking about
everybody's.
Andres Restart,
I'm guessing so.
or Andres from Game Explain?
Oh, yeah,
It's kind of a difference. Game Explain guy has connections at Nintendo. Andres Restart, I mean, I guess he's kind of inferred he has connections, but I watched his video today, Andres Restart's video, and he's thinking June 14th. Which, by the way, Prime Gaming Fest goes to June 14th. Why do you think I did that? Wink, wink. It's just kind of a hope, actually. I'm just guessing.
Right.
I basically looked at what happened is I wrote down the date of every single Nintendo Direct in June. And every single Nintendo event in June dating back to the beginning of E3. And I looked at when it happens and what day. It's almost always Tuesday. Almost always Tuesday. And almost always the second week of June. June 14th lines right up. So that's why I went with June 14th. Doesn't mean it won't be. It could be earlier. It could be later. But that's why I kind of guessed that it would happen on the 14th, which is exactly why Prime Gaming Fest goes through the 14th.
It is the second Tuesday of June.
Yeah. And that was my entire logic behind having Prime Gaming Fest go to the 14th. Which, by the way, there's no guarantee we have anything Nintendo happen during those 6 days besides things that we do, our gaming tournaments and our giveaways and our competitions between Eric and I and the special guests we have coming on. I don't know if I told Eric this. HMK is coming on.
Oh, nice.
Got him on lockdown.
Nice.
Jake Randall, look at your text messages. I know you'll come on. He might be. No, I got to pop into one of his live streams. He gets so many messages. So
Oh, I'm sure.
He usually responds to me like 2 weeks later. He's like, "Oh, dude, I totally missed this." I'm like, I know.
Yeah, whatever.
I know.
We're all good.
I know. But I'm pretty sure I'll get him on for at least a segment on part of it too. But technically not confirmed yet. But he likes locking things in ahead of time, which is why I'm trying to check your messages. I'm actually planning something this time. I'm not asking last minute.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, HMK Nintendo Academy. Just restarts confirmed. Actually, he's gonna have the first confirmed. Well, no, he'll have the second confirmed date because the Gamer Twins. That's what they are on Twitch. Are coming out for the Xbox stuff.
Nice.
They're not. Well, maybe they are actually twins, just not identical twins. I have no idea.
That's possible.
I have no idea. It's not like I ever asked them. Don't
Yeah.
really care.
Are you guys actually twins?
But they're going to come on and talk Xbox. So they're telling them with the first have date locked in.
Twins, Basil. Twins.
I think we might have them come on for a full hour.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
What's a big day?
Yeah.
It's a big day.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it depends on what they're doing.
And by the way, I have them on. By the way, you guys have probably never heard of them outside of our E3 show last year when they were under a different banner because nobody's really heard of them except us because we wanted Xbox experts.
Say that 10 times
And
fast.
the funny thing is, I asked other people that had like bigger channels, and you know what I realized? None of them give a shit about a Nintendo channel.
Why would they?
So you know what you do? You just care about them being experts and stop caring about it. So you just type in Xbox News or Xbox Podcast, and you keep searching. You listen to an episode here. They're kind of talking some bullshit. Listen to another group. They're kind of. Man, this guy sounds like he might not even play games. I'm a little concerned there.
I mean, I can leave the room now. So,
but I mean, like in terms of like they're talking something about an Xbox News piece that I know isn't correct, and I'm not an Xbox. Like, if it comes to the point where I know more than you, then I don't want you on the show. For the Xbox portion, because for the Xbox portion specifically, I want people on that are experts. I don't want people on that I know more than they do, because then the conversation is not engaging. It's just me leading the conversation again, and that's not the point of having the guest on for that segment. I want them to lead the conversation. I want to ask them questions because they're the ones that know. And I know jack shit. And then I discovered these guys, watched an episode, and I'm like, holy shit. Their show is really fucking good, and nobody knows who these people are. And they have great audio equipment, a great setup. Yes. And they quickly agreed. What's funny is the main guy, I couldn't even get a hold of him. His DMs are closed. But I got a hold of his brother, who's on the show. And he's like, oh, hold on, let me talk to my bro. I'm sure he's game for it. Next thing you know, his bro, within like 5 seconds, instantly DMs me. And it's like, oh, what? Yeah, dude, we'll come on. I'm like,
nice.
Of course you will. It's promotion for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
A chance for them. And by the way, they stream on Twitch. Yeah. So, and we promote all of our guests.
Shout it out again, who they are.
On
Twitch?
I think they're called the Gaming Twins. I'll have to double check.
Hold on.
I'll have to double check my DMs to make sure. That's right. I keep thinking that's what they're called, but I could be wrong on that. Yeah, we're kind of hoping that direct line's on the 14th, but we don't really know. You know, it's all a guess. It's all a guess. But let me find my DM from them quick. While I do that. You're trying to look them up. Do you find them on Twitch?
I don't know what they look like, so I can't remember them. Sorry.
You don't remember the guy with the ponytail?
Yeah.
I don't know if he still has one, though. I'll dig through my DMs here. I got to open it up in the big window. That being said,
I'm guessing we want to move on to
topic 2. Next topic.
Topic 2. Apparently, Saudi Arabia bought into Nintendo.
They are
5%.
Now the 5th largest shareholder of Nintendo.
It's pretty interesting that a country bought into.
Well, if you pay attention to what
I'm guessing
Saudi
it's the Crown Prince.
Doing, the king or whatever it is. They have two different ways that they're investing. They have the private investment group and then the public one. Private seems to be things maybe directly owned by the prince, whereas the public one seems to be things directly owned by the government. You could argue, well, it's sort of like a dictatorship over there, so what's the difference? The difference is like a private one, he could transfer to anyone else when he dies. A public one would stay with the crown. So whoever becomes the new, leader after him would inherit whatever the public one is. Anyways, and they did it with the public funds to do this. What's interesting is that between the private and the public funding that they've done, they actually have their hands in a bunch of video game cookie jars. I think they even own an entire video game studio. I forget who it is. There was someone that was going bankrupt, and they just swooped in and bought them. By the way, they spent almost $3 billion USD to buy 5%. Just to let you
crazy.
know what Nintendo's worth, about 5%. 5% of the company is about $3 billion. You could extrapolate out and figure out what the actual stock value is of Nintendo from there. But at least at the time they purchased it. Obviously, the value changes every day. What's interesting is some of the reactions. Because by the way, they have their hands in a lot of things. They own like 5% of EA, for the people that don't know. Because people are freaking out about that. They own 5% of Capcom.
That explains a lot.
They own like 5% of Capcom. People didn't freak out about that. And then some people go, why the hell are they investing? Well, one, the current leader, the Crown Prince, it's kind of weird it's called the Crown Prince. But
King, Crown Prince, I don't know exactly what they're called.
I don't understand.
Ruler, whatever.
Their dictatorship over there, their monarchy, or whatever they call it. I don't understand it, to be honest. But one, he's into video games. So, of course, he's going to invest some of the mass wealth he has from oil into video games because he's personally into video games, as is apparently a lot of the people. Interestingly enough, after this was announced today, a lot of people who live in Saudi Arabia liked it. They thought it was awesome that their leader is buying into one of their favorite gaming companies. Cool. I go ahead and be happy. The rest of the world, on the outside looking in, isn't happy about it because they worry about any possible influence that he could have. And outside of the gaming company they outright bought, which was in bankruptcy, anyone could have swooped in, and he just happened to swoop in. He doesn't really have influence over any of the companies that he's bought into. Because while 5% makes him in the top 5 shareholders, he's not a majority shareholder. His 5% could be, I don't like, what's his name? Shintaro Furukawa. So when it comes up to renew who's going to be leading and what position the votes come in, he could tank 5% of that vote and knock his approval rating from 98 down to 93. Guess what? It has to get knocked like below 56% before they consider replacing him. He doesn't affect anything. He has zero impact. Now, he can show up because of the amount of stock he owns. He can show up to the investors' meetings where it doesn't matter that he's a crown prince. He ain't allowed to talk until it's Q&A time. His princehood ain't got nothing to do when you're in the boardroom with Nintendo in Japan. Mm-hmm. It's completely irrelevant. So even if he did want to show up to the investors' meetings, he couldn't say a damn thing until it was his time for a single question during the investor meeting. Now, some people wanted to know, because they don't like the dictatorship, they don't like the I don't want to dive too deep into the political aspect of this because
there is a king.
Yeah.
So it's the Solomon of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. So there's a lot of
Solomon. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a lot of controversy around this, mostly because people disagree with the politics of the country. And specifically oppression of women is really the big thing. And I don't want to dive too deep into this because the bottom line is I don't live there. I don't know what it's like. I can't give eyewitness reports. I've read the news, both positive and negative. I've talked to some people that live there. They seem genuinely happy, but they also grew up in the culture, so they don't know a different life. So I just look at it like this. I'm not knowledgeable enough to talk about that at that level, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know that any of us here are knowledgeable enough to talk. We all have our personal opinions. Mm-hmm. But this isn't like an entertainment thing. Like the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp thing sort of just become an entertainment thing. This isn't entertainment. This is literally dealing with millions of people's lives. So I don't really feel like we're qualified to have that sort of conversation. Heck, I sometimes wonder if some government officials are even qualified. Like, that's why I hate talking about government. I don't really know who to believe or what the fuck's really going on anywhere, because everyone's got their own self-interest in mind. However, that seems to be what all the backlash is about today, because they're so worried that they're going to influence Nintendo down this path of unequal treatment to employees. And what I find interesting about this is also that Nintendo already has accusations about that here in the United States. It's kind of hypocritical that anyone cares. And here's why. If you want to argue that you're worried about him buying 5% of Nintendo, worried about that country buying 5% of Nintendo, and it negatively affecting human rights at Nintendo, or worried about the fact that part of the dividend profits off of stuff are now going to go to a country that negatively impacts humans' lives sometime. Let me tell you something. Stop buying electronics.
Whole hell of a lot more of the percentage of the profits going to, I don't know, the manufacturers of your chips, your everything else that are using child labor.
Slave labor. Child labor. Not paying livable wages. Forcing people to work during a pandemic. I'm sorry. You're being hypocritical. That's my whole problem with this. It's not that you can't maybe get pause. Oh, I don't want to buy Nintendo stuff now because it's going to support the Saudi Arabian. Guess what? You're supporting the whole of China, which, by the way, is doing really bad things to a lot of people. And most of the world is ignoring it because without China, we can't really afford to buy the products we buy. Which is sort of a misnomer because, like, the profit levels on, like, this iPhone are so insane. What's it matter to us if suddenly my $1,100 iPhone costs $800 to make instead of $300? Hey, you could still charge me the $1,100 to make $300 profit. Isn't that good enough, Apple? No, because they'll just jack the price to $2,000.
Right.
So all of us enjoy the benefits of this stuff, but then blatantly ignore it because we don't want to deal with that reality. And now we're going to complain about something because it's the right thing to do because of political agendas. And it's just, this is stupid. If you think this is a problem, that Saudi Arabia bought 5% of Nintendo, which, by the way, Nintendo can't block the purchase. There's nothing they can do. It's a publicly traded company. Anybody can buy it. Anybody. A government can buy it. An individual. Elon Musk can buy a whole bunch if he wants. Like, anyone can buy. It's publicly traded. Nothing Nintendo can do about it. But it is pretty much impossible to get a majority stake in Nintendo because the two highest stakeholders own like 52% of Nintendo. You pretty much can't get control of Nintendo. But it's all interesting to think about as I'm watching these reactions today and watching people get angry and watching people panic. And I'm like, where was all this panic when we found out slave labor is making our stuff? Where was all this panic when Foxconn, who Nintendo still uses, had to put suicide nets because their employees were treated so poorly they would rather take their lives and jump off the top of the building than work? Where was all the backlash then? Why didn't you boycott Nintendo and all the tech companies then? But now you want to boycott them, and now the other companies that Saudi Arabia has invested in. I just feel like it's a little bit hypocritical. If you want to hold yourself to those standards, you should have been doing it this entire time. You should have been doing this for decades. Really should have stopped buying electronics probably 15 years ago when the stories started coming out about how they're actually getting made. And how some of it's even being made with blood diamonds from Africa. Some of the equipment used to make our stuff is being driven by slave labor in Africa in the mines. I know all this stuff, by the way. I've done my research. I am well aware of how a lot of our electronics are being made. There's very few electronics that are not being made in this fashion. That there isn't some part of that electronic, be it the raw materials themselves, the tools used to make it, or the people doing it. Even a made-in-America product, guess what? Did they mine it in America too? Did they mine the raw materials here, or did they import them because you can't afford to buy them here?
No,
or we don't have
a whole lot of shit that's not available within the United States.
So it can be manufactured here.
When they say made in America, that's what they mean. It's manufactured here.
Yeah.
And even that is still questionable.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they get there's
corners
built up
where
parts.
they can.
No, they'll get like pieces built over here, and then they fully assemble. So they get kits made of different parts, but they fully put it together here, so it's made in the United States.
Yeah. So my point in all this isn't that you can't feel a little weird about it, right? You're welcome to feel a little weird, a little strange, a little uncomfortable. That's fine. That's a normal human emotion, right?
You can not like it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, that's your right to not like it.
And if you want to boycott over it, it's fine. I'm just saying that if this is what's making you boycott, if this is what's making you angry, then where the hell have you been this entire time? When there's significantly worse things happening than Saudi Arabia collecting 5% dividends off of Nintendo. There's significantly worse things and more money being exchanged with companies that are enslaving people to create the products that we're buying. Oh. And yet you're mad about a dictatorship who, is not giving equal rights to women and not treating everyone properly, or maybe just hate the idea of a dictatorship and think everything should be a democracy. Whatever you think is the answer to all the world's problems, which, by the way, everyone's got their own problems. Bottom line is...
I mean, here in the United States, we're not all that great either, so...
bottom line is, there's way worse things going on right now that you're... And maybe listening to this podcast is the first time you heard about this stuff, and now you're going to start doing your own research into how all these electronics are made, because ignorance is bliss. People grow up. When you're kids, you don't hear about this stuff, right? Most of the time, unless you're paying really, really close attention to certain news outlets, you're not really hearing about how your products are made, because... Bottom line is American businesses don't want you to know how they're being made. Yeah. They don't want you to know. They really do not want you to know how the products are being made. That's the American way is great, so long as you don't understand how the American way actually works, and they don't want you to know. And since big business runs a lot of things, you end up not hearing about it until you're much older. So it's possible you guys didn't know that this is how electronics are made. And to those people, I will say, If you didn't know about this, but now you know about the Saudi Arabia thing and that's making you boycott, well, congratulations. Now you found out about all the other things going on that should have made you boycott a long time ago. And this just gets into that larger conversation of, should all of us stop buying electronics? Should all of us stop this? Should all of us stop whatever? And there's really, I don't think, a right or wrong answer to this, because consumerism drives a lot of things. But
hold on. There's a right answer to it, and we should be yes. We should stop buying all this stuff, but we aren't going to.
Well,
that's the thing. We should probably stop buying all this, but we're not going to, because that's how this works.
Really, the solution, I don't think, is even to not buy it. The solution is that pressure needs to be put on the countries it's happening in to fix the problem. But they don't.
But the biggest way to do that is to not buy them.
Well, that's the biggest power we have.
Yes.
But the power to force the actual change comes at the governmental level. And even possibly threatening military level. And nobody does it.
Yeah.
As an example, there's the whole war thing and people trying to condemn China for, not condemning Russia or whatever. Because it's all a political thing by China. They don't want to take sides on anything because everyone gets their crap from China. They want Russia to still get stuff from China. They want Ukraine to still get stuff from China. Can't take a side on the war because suddenly one side won't get stuff from China anymore. So it's this big thing where I know this is a deeply politicized topic on a channel that I hate talking about politics.
Yep.
But the bottom line is this comes from a mindset that you can't, in my opinion, justifiably decide out of nowhere because of this is what tipped you over to not buy stuff anymore. Because there's so much worse going on. We don't talk about this topic very often for a reason. One, talking about negativity sucks.
Yeah.
I've been aware of this stuff for a while. We've had this conversation one other time. And it's a tough conversation to have. It's a hard pill to swallow that this device that we keep in our pocket, that we hold in our hands with Switch, that I'm using here, all this equipment I'm using to make this entire show happen, the device you're literally watching this podcast on right now or listening to it on, has likely had something in it, some part of it done in a very inhumane way. Whether it's directly through slave labor, child labor, improper wages. Could have been done by, my phone could have been touched by somebody who later killed themselves over their work conditions. This is stuff that we have to know is happening. Unfortunately, we don't put enough pressure on the people that can make the change. Our control is everyone stop buying it, but we kind of know that's just not going to happen, right? People aren't going to, not enough people are going to boycott for the consumerism aspect to make the difference. The difference has to be made by putting the pressure on the entities in power to do something about it. And unfortunately, ignorance is bliss. When do you hear this stuff talked about in the media? There was a big story on the whole slavery with the Uyghurs thing in China, like a couple of years ago. Quickly swept under the rug after like a week. The news cycle moves on. People forget. So, bottom line is, I don't really give a shit that Saudi Arabia bought 5%. Because that means I'd have to care more about that than all the other bad stuff going on. I care way more about the other bad stuff going on than I do about Saudi Arabia collecting small, tiny little dividends off every single financial return.
Well, I'm sure they're probably making some decent money.
Well, I mean, they make a lot of money off other things right now.
Oh, no.
Nintendo, by the way, isn't exactly like the best investment when it comes to making money. Like, if anyone of you guys own a Nintendo stock, you know your return on your Nintendo stock isn't like a ton. Your dividend payments are not that big. So, like, it's not necessarily a purchase that you buy to make a lot of money. Because if you're going to do that, the way to do it is to get in on Nintendo when they're at a low. They're not at a low right now. Wii U 3DS, 2 years in a row reported losses. That's when you get in. You buy. Then get out in 2020 when Switch is peaking. You dip the fuck out.
Sorry, I had to.
It's fine. But you dip the fuck out then. So this isn't really a money-making move at the moment. This is more of a diversification of revenue. So if and when the oil money ever dries up, they have other assets they can cash out at any point and get billions of dollars back. So, and by the way, there are people that buy Nintendo stock as just like retirement stock because it's a pretty solid stock from a company that's going to be around for a while. So it's one of those.
I mean, you'd hope.
Well, I mean, they have enough money to make it last for a long time. So you just hope sometime in there they don't lose all your money.
Right.
Sometime next 50 years, Nintendo, don't lose all my money, please. So anyways, very, very hard conversation to have, but I think it's important to put it in perspective that we shouldn't really be any more upset about this. I think people are too upset. That's basically, I guess, what my argument is. What do you have any additional thoughts, Eric?
Not really. I mean, you summed it up pretty well. You summed it up pretty well. I mean, do I care? Do I want to see him invest? No. Do I really? Am I going to get all up in arms on it? No. I don't know. It's not worth my time. I got my own shit to worry about. I mean, as much as I hate saying it, but I mean, yeah. Do I agree with the way they treat people? Allegedly, no. But it's one of the. I don't know. I'm gonna talk myself into a hole.
It's a tough topic because, like, no matter what you say, you sound like a dick.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, I got more important things going on in my life. Do you? More important than a child being forced into child labor? That seems like a more important thing than anything any of us got going on in our lives. The unfortunate truth is there's not much we can do about it. And that's what sucks. Is that realization that I can't storm China and save the slaves. I'll get killed.
Yeah.
It takes the might of the military and the governing nation to do something about it. And funny thing is they all know about it. And they're all too afraid to do something about it because they rely so much on that country. So it's a very precarious situation right
Or
now.
they don't give two shits about the country.
Like the United States was one of their intelligence is one of the ones that uncovered the slave stuff going on. And they're like, oh, you need to stop. Yeah. Oh, China denied. Of course they did.
Bye. We'll do it. We'll get right on that.
Yeah. It's not, so we looked into it. It's not happening. We don't have slave labor. But now your intelligence is wrong. This is our country. There's no slave labor here.
Yeah.
We don't force people in the camps. Doesn't happen.
Hey.
Nope. We pay fair and equal wages everywhere.
We've done it here in the United States.
So why are people jumping off buildings killing themselves? I don't know. Those people are just crazy people.
Yeah.
So crazy they got to put nets up? I mean, that's happening pretty frequently if you got to put nets up. It's just dumb. And unfortunately, this is one of those situations where we just don't have the power as an individual. as a collective, if we could get the entire nation of America behind it and get, all these people that voted, what was it, like 140 million that voted in the last presidential election, get all 140 million to make noise, then something might happen because the government will be forced into it. But guess what? Getting 140 million people to agree on anything?
Considering the fact that there are some things out there that 80 to 90% of Americans want, and that still doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Just shows you how
we got to be careful when we say 80 to 90%, because now we're basing it off of polls and all those things, and we know how easily statistics is manipulated. Yeah. Because by the way, like a lot of the polls, we pulled 1,000 people, and that's 90% of America. Oh, okay. That makes up a small, tiny portion of a small town in Wisconsin.
Right.
like, I don't know if that's a very good poll to base any decision on the whole country on, but
yeah.
Like, if you guys ever look into some of the polls, this is just like a fun aside. Like, if you ever look into poll numbers and like how people, like, oh yeah, 85% of Switch users are over the age of 18. Okay, now if Nintendo tells you that, they actually could have some data because they have the entire user base data. But when you see like Sensor Tower put something out there, Sensor Tower doesn't have direct access to a lot of the data. It's based on polling. And if you dig into it, it'll be like, based on a poll of 2,500 people using Apple devices, and you're making an assumption for 200 million users off of 2,500. Not so sure that's accurate. But that's how a lot of polls and statistics are done. That's why we got to be really careful. So 80 to 90%, I don't know 80 to 90% of America agrees on anything.
No,
I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, I don't think we can get 90%.
No. I guarantee you 80 to 90% of Americans will agree on that. 80 to 90% of Americans don't agree on something.
There you go. That's the one thing we can agree on, is that nobody agrees. We can agree that nobody agrees.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, right. We're really good at that.
Yes.
Really good at not agreeing on things, and that's what the one thing we got in common.
Yeah.
All right. So, by the way, someone brought up lies, damn lies, and statistics. The funny thing is, the stats don't really lie. It's how we interpret them. The stats are the stats. Of the 2,500 people polled in a certain thing, that stat is correct for that 2,500 people. Extrapolating that to millions,
it's not a significant sample size.
And my thing is, like, what is a significant sample size? Then people debate about that. Well, if we have, well, how many people live in New York City?
Oh, Jesus.
Like 30 million? I forget. It grows every year.
New York City population. 8.3 million.
The city itself is 8.3. Okay. So let's say you have 8.3 million, right? And you want to make a decision for that city, and you ran a poll and you got 100,000 votes in the poll. That seems like a lot of people, but compared to 8.3, is that really a good enough sample size to make the decision? I don't know. So let's move on. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the actual polls are accurate. The numbers are numbers. But people manipulate the numbers to do things that don't always add up. Get into our last topic, because, hey, if you guys are upset about the Saudi Arabia stuff, you're upset. If you're not upset, you're not upset. Personally, I don't really care. The 5% gives them no control of Nintendo. But to be clear, it's 5.01%. Just like everything in Breath of the Wild is 0.08%. Had to throw in that 0.01. Our last topic deals with services. And does Nintendo need to embrace the service mentality? And some of you guys are probably already staring at the screen. What are you talking about, Nate? Nintendo Switch Online! They already have a service!
I mean, yeah.
Let's consider something. We all know Game Pass. Don't need to dive into the details of that. Game Pass is Xbox's service. PlayStation has now expanded PlayStation Plus and doing a real service. Offer PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, demos, and a whole bunch of other stuff. They're actually offering a lot of modern games, but just not like the latest games. But it looks like they're going to start offering 2-hour demos of the latest games and all that. So they're really buying into the service mentality. They've been in the service one for a bit with live streaming PS3 games for a while. Nintendo is weird. So they charge you to play online. So do these other companies. But what they try to do is give you an incentive to stay subscribed, rather than sell you a service, if that makes sense. You're still buying a service to play retro games. But really what they're doing is you need to be subscribed to play Smash, to play Mario Kart, to play whatever. We don't want you to leave when you're done playing those games. So we're going to incentivize you to keep your subscription by giving you these additional things. It doesn't feel like, and this is just me comparing it to Sony and Microsoft, that Nintendo is really like, we're offering you a service, and we want you to subscribe for that service. Rather, we're strong-arming you into it, and then hoping we give you enough little extras that you don't leave it.
To a certain extent, though, they kind of feel like they're kind of starting to head in that direction with something like the DLC, the other added stuff that's coming.
The big one.
The other stuff that's coming. I mean, they added the 64 and the Genesis. Yep. I'm like, which Sega series here are we talking about? But the Genesis. So it feels like they're kind of starting to move in that direction. And
I'm sure they fully buy in.
To a certain extent,
everything's a service these days for starters. But
I mean, if they're gonna go that route, go 100% in that route.
Yeah.
I mean, don't pussyfoot around it.
Okay.
And
right.
daily daddle. Oh, okay, we're gonna give you this service here that we're gonna strongly you into, but we're not gonna really make it fully 100% worth it for you. So we want you to join it, but yeah.
Stop pussyfooting around, Nintendo. We should have every system through Wii. We should have every handheld system through DS. That's the way I know you're not pussyfooting around anymore. We have full backwards compatibility on Xbox. Full backwards compatibility now thanks to this service. Besides PS3, that's all streaming. On Sony. They ain't pussyfooting around. You're paying for a service that gives you the entire back catalog. Well, not all of it, but stuff from every platform before it. Nintendo, meanwhile, pussyfoots around.
Mm-hmm.
They're like that kid that was late to the party and then decided, you know what? Everyone else is having a great time drinking top shelf. You know what I'm going to have? Can I get some Kool-Aid? Guys, come over here and have some Kool-Aid with me. But sir, we're all busy drinking top shelf and having a grand old time and making business deals over here. That's cool. Come have some Kool-Aid with some extra cups of sugar in it, please.
That's some sweet ass Kool-Aid.
That's some sweet ass Kool-Aid, just like back in the day.
Yeah.
But like that's what it kind of feels like. Like Nintendo is coming at this as we know we're behind everybody. So instead of just jumping all in, we're just we're going to do the most Nintendo thing ever and just never fully commit. We'll tease. Ooh, we got 64 and Genesis now. We got 64 and Genesis now. We might get Game Boy. Holy shit, we might get something from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
guys.
right.
Hold on.
Whoa.
We might get another system from the 80s and 90s. God forbid we get something that came out in the year 2000 and beyond. To infinity and beyond, everybody.
Right, yeah. To backwards.
God forbid we get something that actually came out in the last 22 years.
What's more typical Nintendo is we'll give you this NSO, we'll give you a few games, and then when it fails massively, they'll go, see, we tried it. It didn't work. No, you didn't try shit.
Oh, we added GameCube, but we gave you like 4 games, and nobody upgraded for it.
You didn't try shit.
Nobody wants GameCube.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's like Sony and Microsoft have this fundamental understanding of a service and needing to value that service to get people in. How are you going to convince people to get the PlayStation Ultimate stuff? Guess what? You're giving them a great value for the money. Why do people get into Game Pass? It's a great value for the money. It's an investment in yourself and your customers to lead you to higher subscriber numbers that lead to everyone winning at the end of the day. The customers end up happy because they feel like they're getting a great value for your money. You end up winning because you have so many people subscribed. You're making hand over fist billions extra per year off subscribers. Mm-hmm. It's a win-win at the end. What Game Pass is doing isn't a win-win at first for Microsoft. It's a win-win down the line. They're going the Netflix route. Mm-hmm. They're going with the 10-year plan. And that's fine. They got money to sink. Technically, Nintendo's got money to sink as well. Sony, not so much. They're kind of in and out of the profits and non-profit stuff. They don't have a ton of money in the bank. But bottom line is, I'm not saying that Nintendo needs to offer a Game Pass service. I don't think Sony needs to offer a Game Pass service either. The whole reason Sony and Nintendo don't need to offer Game Pass services is because their exclusive games individually sell a lot. Hate to break this to you, Nintendo fans, Sony's exclusive games do sell a lot. They're starting to sell like Nintendo games. Some of that only happens after they're discounted. Doesn't matter. They still happen. So it's awesome. Their IPs are selling so well, they don't need to offer a Game Pass service to create that enticement to come over. Microsoft needed to do that because they were having a hard time getting enough exclusive games, let alone convincing people to buy every single one that comes out. So, hey, now we got Game Pass. Fine. Microsoft can do that, by the way. They're one of the richest companies in the world. They can afford to take that risk for a future investment. Maybe Nintendo and Sony don't want to, and it's probably not a smart business decision for them to. But what Sony's doing with their service and what they gave us the information this week, very smart. It's a very smart choice for Sony. And it's a very good value for the consumer. Nintendo services, obviously the value's in the eye of the beholder. Some people are going to think Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion pack, if you get the expansion pack, is worth it because of the DLC. It's worth it because of the replay value and the online aspect you're getting with N64 and Genesis games. I get it. Some people are going to feel like it's a good value, and that's fine. I mean, we got to remember, with the expansion pack, Nintendo's no longer the $20 kid at the table that costs you $1 a month. It's still now creeping up to that almost $5 per month category. And I know that's still not what the others are charging. They're still charging more. But I almost would rather Nintendo say, fuck it, it's going to cost you $180 a year, but we're actually going to give you everything up to our current system. And then you know what? We'll entice you with some discounts on new games when they come out. Oh, you're a subscriber, you can get 10% off. You get 10% off in the eShop. I know, I'm just saying, you're laughing.
Nintendo discount? What?
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's what it means by going
no, for sure. That's
what it means by going
absolutely. That part,
you don't even have to Game Pass it.
I understand. That's probably reaching too far. I understand. Just give us the games.
Okay. Reaching for anything beyond what we currently have is reaching too far.
For sure.
Just so you're aware.
You're not wrong on that one.
We're sitting
You're
here
not wrong on that one.
begging to get excited about Game Boy and Game Boy Color games coming.
Hey, man. It keeps us talking about Nintendo, though.
And don't get me wrong, I love Game Boy and Game Boy Color. But here we're talking about PS4 games being on PlayStation 5. Here we're talking about PS3 games due to architecture reasons. That's why they're streaming. And PS2 and PS1. All of PSP, PS Vita coming to the service. Sony just snapped their fingers and did this in 2 years. Nintendo's been at the virtual console thing since what? When did we come out again? They've been doing virtual console for how long? Wait. Nintendo was the first one to start doing this, and now they're behind everybody else. Nintendo started this. They started this whole offering back catalog games.
Yeah, but then...
And now they're behind everyone.
What happened was they got probably the backlash of people having to keep rebuying every new generation, and they go, see, this doesn't work, so we're just not going to do it anymore. See, so, I mean, because everybody keeps getting pissed at us because they have to rebuy the damn virtual games.
So this all goes back to the original question. Should Nintendo just go all out? Should they start saying, fuck it? They're not going to do it this generation, by the way, guys. We're too far gone this gen. This would be something they would reconsider when the next system comes around. Mm-hmm. And put it this way. Not should they do it, because I think everyone's going to say, well, if you're going to have a service like you have now, why not just go all out?
Right.
They're like, what's the point in holding back?
Right.
But do we think they will eventually get there? Or is Nintendo just always going to be the way they are now? We're just getting sort of scraps.
No.
Sometimes they're very good. Like Kirby, we just got Kirby 64. Great game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we should have had this on Switch. It should have carried over from the Wii. We should have had to celebrate getting games that we could buy on the Wii. We could buy a lot of these N64 games on the Wii in the mid-2000s. And now we're celebrating them coming back in the 2020s?
Again, it keeps us talking about Nintendo.
I mean, Nintendo existing keeps us talking about Nintendo.
I mean, you're not wrong, but this...
Like a fart in the wind and it's a breaking news tomorrow.
all.
What
What do they
how
say?
it farted during the investors meeting and everyone heard it. It's caught on camera.
Yeah, I mean, what do they say? All
News
news
at
is
10.
good news. I mean,
Breaking news at 10.
yeah, right. I mean,
Dog
sorry,
says
I'll-
don't rebuy a game you ordered in. But that's the brilliance of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, Sony, good old Sony. Not always so good, but this is a good decision they made. They're bringing all these classic games back. If you already own them, so to your point, don't buy them again if you already own it. If you already own them, when they become available because of this service, as long as you have the game registered with your PlayStation account, you could just download it and play it without being part of the service.
holy shit! Damn.
What's that? What's that I hear? Backwards compatibility? Just
Hot
digitally,
damn.
of course. Just digitally.
I mean,
But
still, who cares?
Still.
That's amazing.
It's not a foreign concept, but it is to Nintendo. So you're right,
Well,
Doggy. You shouldn't
here's
have to buy it again.
here's the
If you
issue.
bought it on the N64, you should be able to play it for free today on a Switch, but you can't.
Here's the issue, though, too. You'd have to go back through your Nintendo account, your other account, your other account, your other
Yeah,
account.
it's a bit easier for
account
Sony to be fair because they had online. I think starting with PS2 a little bit and then PS3 for sure. So it's a little bit easier.
and they've only had one account structure
but-
throughout the whole entire damn
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and like, but as an example, Wii U games, right? Wii U's account system ended up merging into Nintendo accounts. Obviously, it wasn't like a smooth move, but you could see some of your Wii U purchases on your Nintendo account. So when those games came over to Wii U, why couldn't we just download them for free? We already bought it. Why do I gotta buy it again? Just
Reasons.
to play it on Switch. It's a very similar situation. So
Yeah.
I give Sony some credit.
Yeah,
They're
no, for
caring
sure.
about the backwards compatibility. One, it's just a good guy Sony move. And two, hey, we're also giving you incredible value for a decent price.
It saves you money to buy more games.
Well,
Different
because
games.
the way these services work now, if you get the PlayStation Plus, especially if you get the PlayStation Plus like the Ultimate version, you get 2 big game drops per month now instead of 1. So PlayStation Plus gets the 1 drop at the beginning of the month. If you get the Ultimate or Deluxe version, whatever they're calling it, you get another drop in the middle. And these games that get dropped, by the way, have come out in like the last couple of years. So they're more modern games. And so when they do these drops, plus the access to the classic games, and then you have Xbox with the Game Pass, you can literally buy a PlayStation, buy a PlayStation 5, buy an Xbox Series, subscribe to these services, and never actually buy a game and be totally happy because you'll have stuff to play all the time. New stuff being added all the time. Nintendo doesn't have anything like that. I'm sorry, guys, they don't.
Yeah.
You can buy a Nintendo Switch, subscribe to NSO. You're not getting new shit to play. You're getting old shit and only old shit. Oh, sorry. Correction. They did give us Mario 35, and then they took it away.
I mean, you're getting the DLC of the new shit.
Of the games that you need to buy,
Well, I mean, yeah.
instead of just getting the games at this point.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Splatoon 2.
I mean, yeah.
Cool, we got the DLC. Why can't we just get the game for free? It came out in 2017. Splatoon 3 is coming out this year. Why can't we just have Splatoon 2? Why can't we just have it?
Because reasons.
Oh, you're giving us the... Why can't we just have the game? Like, this is what I'm talking... Like, Nintendo just... I don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing. And you could say a lot of this is, it's not fair to compare it to other services, but this is the way the world's going. And this isn't me complaining about buy video games. By the way, if they had a Sony-like service, it wouldn't stop me from buying Nintendo games day one, just like it won't stop me from buying PlayStation games day one. But it is nice for budget-conscious gamers to go, I could just invest this one price per year,
Right.
and I will have newer, maybe not the latest, but just before the latest games to play. And I have all the classic games to play in between if there's nothing I want to play that particular month coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a nice... And with Xbox, I mean, Xbox is almost uncomparable because they are giving you the brand new stuff. That's just... The more companies they buy out, the more of a value it feels like. So Xbox is kind of in a class of its own at that. But, I mean, Sony's now got a legitimately really good service going. And now you got Nintendo, who were just begging for scraps at the table of systems that came out 20 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Why is it this way? Well, we know why. Nintendo is just they value their IP so highly. They're maximizing revenue, and I don't know. There's been a lot of complaints about NSO, and I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, will Nintendo ever get there? Will they ever get there? Ever?
Probably not.
In our lifetime. Let's slow it down a minute.
Right.
I don't really know if I care what Nintendo does after I die. But in my lifetime, let's say I got another 40 years on this planet.
Yeah.
Knock on wood that I make it to 76. Sometime in there, maybe, could I subscribe to a Nintendo service and just get games?
Yeah, no. I don't know. Maybe not. Something tells me no. I mean, they're kind of sort of trickling in that direction.
I do like the DLC editions.
Yeah.
But when you're adding DLC that came out 4 years, I just don't care. Mm-hmm. Can we, like, the new DLC, cool. They had the Mario Kart DLC in. Cool. When they added the Animal Crossing DLC day one. Cool. Those were neat additions. And I like that. They're going to, and they haven't committed to it, but if they add all future DLC, that does give it a value. Mm-hmm. I mean, even for me, it gives it a value. If they release enough DLC per year, you could get the value of your subscription in the DLC.
If they have Breath of the Wild 2 DLC and it comes the freaking online service,
you get the
that's pretty goddamn good.
You could share that DLC with 8 people. I mean, it's a really good deal. But what are we talking about? That we're talking about? They're adding new content to it.
Right.
But it's not adding the game that you need to buy to play in the first. By the way, I'm not saying they need to do Game Pass, but I found it weird when they added. Okay, now when Splatoon 3 is coming out, we're going to add the Octo 2 expansion to it. From Splatoon 2, that literally everybody who wanted to play it bought it in the last 4 years. Splatoon 2 is no longer relevant, is being replaced, and now you're adding DLC that everyone who's already wanted to play it would have already bought by now. It's like a fool's gold value add. It's fool's gold. Nobody's going to be buying Splatoon 2 today because I get free Octopass expansion. Let me go spend $60, by the way. Hasn't dropped in price. $60 on Splatoon 2 with Splatoon 3 around the corner. So I can have that Octo expansion for free, which isn't really free.
Okay.
By the way, we need to stop calling anything on services free. I hate this when they say, look at these free games. None of it's free. If you pay money for a subscription, it's just part of the subscription fee. Mm-hmm. It's not free.
No,
I think gamers actually use that more than companies.
Yeah.
I see a lot of gamers go, what are you complaining about? They just added this game for free. Oh, so I don't have to pay to take access to it?
No, they added the game for adding the game for free is correct because you're not paying any more than what you're currently paying. You're paying for the service, so all the games that you've currently paid for.
But then that's just part of the service. Adding games is part of the service. You're paying for the fact they add games.
Right. But
so
you're not.
It's not for free. That's what part of the expectation of the service. When you subscribe to Game Pass, your expectation is when the next game comes out, you get it. When you subscribe to PlayStation, you know they're going to add new games every month.
Right, but again, you're not you're not paying more because they added the game.
But no, you expected the game to be added. They created the expectation. That's part of the service. Part of the service is that you get games. Okay. You might not know what games you get.
Let me clarify this. They added the game for free. You don't get to play the game for free because you're paying for the service to play the game. Well, they added to the service for free because you're not paying any more, but you're still paying to play the game.
Which means it's not free for you.
But them adding it to the service is free because you don't pay any more for it.
But you still had to pay to access it.
That's paying to play the game.
What's their goal of adding games? To get more people to subscribe.
Oh, hey, look. The hot. Apparently, it's time to end the chat. End the podcast.
Time to end the podcast. We got hot adult dating going on right now.
Damn it! They always seem to come in right at the end of the damn podcast. So apparently, this is telling us we're going too goddamn long. We need to end the podcast here.
No. But to your point, I like that you're disagreeing with me on this because I've heard this argument made several times.
Yeah.
And I keep just defaulting to I really don't give a shit.
I mean, there's that too.
Well, here's the bottom line: if I pay a fee. This is what I look at it as. So when Netflix gives you content, it's all free, right then?
the extra content's free.
But it's not extra. You're
paying
subscribing specifically to get the content. When you subscribe, you know new seasons of the shows that you want are coming out. When you subscribe to television, you know there's going to be more sporting events, more of this. So all that's free, even though you are literally paying specifically to get that content. That's the whole purpose of you subscribing, is to get that content. So is it really free, or is that's just the expectation of the service that you already pay for? If they stopped adding those games, you would stop subscribing.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you subscribe to cable TV and they stop live airing sports,
yes,
you're done. You're going to cancel your TV subscription.
Yes. But what I'm saying is
So
it doesn't cost it doesn't cost you any more for them to add the.
But you are specifically paying money because they add. If they get rid of that, you stop paying.
You're paying for that feature of the thing, but it doesn't cost you more because they added it. But that's why they're adding it for free. And we didn't actually
mods in the chat, do we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I took care of it.
Yeah,
I took care of it. No, I just my mentality.
My biggest one is these goddamn infomercials that say, "Buy this one, get the second one for free. Just pay shipping and handling." Well, then it's not free. That's shipping and handling. Yeah. You pay the shipping and handling.
Buy one, get one for shipping and handling.
Yeah. It's not buy one, get one free, pay shipping and handling. No, it's buy one, get one for shipping and handling.
Yeah, but they're legally allowed to say buy one, get one free because shipping and handling is just considered part of the service fee to get it.
Yeah.
I know, it's dumb. But this is just the way that I always view it as, like I have never paid for a cable subscription and thought, oh, when they put a show on TV, when they put a sporting event on TV, that's for free. That's what I'm trying to compare this to is why did you subscribe to television? To get those shows and get those sports. So without them, you don't give them any money. Mm-hmm. So then it's not free. I paid a service to be served this content. And if you don't serve me the content, I don't pay.
You paid for access.
Yes.
You're not paying any more because they're adding more shit to it.
But so what you're saying is when you pay for your cable, you're not paying more because another Brewer game's on. They added another Brewer game to the slate today. You get to watch. By the way, not even all the games are on cable, but besides the point.
Actually, I think all of them have been. All of the ones this year are in some form of.
Are they actually on it though? You don't have to buy like extra packages to get them, like exclusive to MLB Network.
Yeah, no.
Or actually, this year.
I
this year, because that's been a thing in prior years with some of the sporting events.
Between the free games of YouTube and the free games of MLB, I believe I heard that all Brewer games this year are in some way available on some sort of streaming
but you'll have
free.
To change off the service you pay for to get it. Like if you watch it for free on YouTube, okay, well I'm not watching it through my cable service.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're at least viewable.
So what I'm saying though is like, have you ever viewed TV as you're just getting content for free, even though you paid specifically to watch that content?
You paid to access the content.
Yes.
And then anything new, brand new shows, they didn't pay you to. They don't. It's not like you pay per show.
Have you seen the way that you subscribe? You pay to access things like Bally Sports. You pay to access those channels. You pay for the content, by the way. The TV contracts pay for a lot of this content to even be aired in the first place. These subscription fees to Game Pass are eventually going to pay for the games you're getting on Game Pass. Hmm. Like this is what I'm saying. Netflix, you're adding the content for free. No, they're not. Your fee that you pay made that show come to Netflix. You are paying for those shows to be made. That's what the subscription fees pay for. They pay for that content to exist in the first place. And that's my argument is you have to pay.
It's all semantics. It's all semantics.
You have to pay to access it.
It's all semantics.
I love that we disagree.
Yeah.
It's just if you subscribed to gain access to stuff that's already there and don't care about what's coming, that I can agree. Then it just views as, they're just adding free content that I didn't ask for. But when they advertise it as a feature of your subscription, leading that to be a reason that you subscribe to enjoy that feature, if they don't deliver on that feature, you don't subscribe. You're actually paying them to provide you that content. Because if they don't have that feature, you probably didn't subscribe. Imagine Netflix. Would people stay subscribed to Netflix? Which probably some people aren't subscribing anyways. But would people stay subscribed to Netflix if they stopped adding new content? Well, no, of course not. Of course not. Eventually, people would all fall off because there's no new content to watch. Mm-hmm. then what are you actually paying for? You're paying for that new content to exist. And that's why people would unsubscribe. Why am I going to keep paying for something when they're not giving me anything new? Same thing with cable TV. We'd stop paying if they stopped showing sporting events. That's one of the main things still propping up cable TV is sports. They get rid of the sports off of there, which, by the way, you can watch sports through. There's a whole lot of ways to watch sports. It just so happens that cable and satellite TV...
Who has live sports?
Well, the only benefit of cable and live TV still is that they still tend to be more live than streamed. We've seen that just at my house, because I've had streaming services before. And yeah, going through an actual satellite box or a cable box, you actually aren't getting an update on your phone about what just happened before you actually see it happen. So that's one of the benefits, that people that actually really want live to be live, they still enjoy those aspects. By the way, some people subscribe for other channels and other shows. So some people really love having the Discovery Network and History Channel and all. That's all fine. Everyone's got their own reasons to subscribe. It doesn't have to just be sports. Just so happens that sports is one of the number one drivers, which is why a lot of the extra sports channels keep getting put in the upper packages to force people to spend more and more money to get extra channels they don't really want. Mm-hmm. When really they just want to, can I just get the sports stuff, get rid of all the other shit, and I'll pay $20.
I literally just want to start a goddamn cable company that you pay me for the fucking channels you want, and that's it. That's what you get. You want one channel? Sure. You get one channel.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You don't control any of the networks. So you call ESPN and say, I want to sell your one channel. No. You can sell our channel if you package in all the Disney Network channels. No, that's what you don't understand. They don't control the content. They have to pay DirecTV, Charter, all these companies have to pay money to the networks to get their channels. And the networks control how you get their content. And that sucks, because you can be like, well, the networks can go fuck up. Well, the networks are doing just fine. They're not really being that negatively affected by this going down, because all the streaming stuff's popping up now, and they'll say, oh, well, we'll put all our ESPN stuff on Fios.
You mean like Thursday Night Football's now on Amazon Prime and only Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Well, they paid a shitload of money to the NFL to make that happen.
No, I know.
So, like,
good thing I have NFL or Amazon Prime.
And that's why, does the NFL care? No, it doesn't. No, I have Amazon Prime, so it's not a big deal, but it still sucks, because guess what? I got to watch it streaming now. I can't watch it live. I always am going to have a delay and get score updates on my phone before it happens.
Yep.
And you might be like, well, then your internet sucks. My internet does not suck here. Streaming is not actually as quick. It's funny, because they're like, a cable box and cable internet, it's the same line.
Yeah.
It should be the same speed. It's just not. Buffering and everything else that gets added in that just isn't there with the raw cable signal. So, but anyway, the whole point of this obviously is getting back to the services, and
just fucking do it.
Yeah, I mean we want them to. I mean, I'm gonna ask this of the audience. I'm gonna ask this of the people watching. Do you guys want Nintendo to go this route? Do you guys just not care? A lot of people don't like services, but I don't see people really complaining about the Xbox and PlayStation stuff. I think people complain because they're scared of an all-digital future or a service-only future.
We're heading that direction anyways.
Well, it's already happened. I mean, it's already happened with music, basically. I mean, you can still buy individual songs. You can still even buy albums. How many of you guys actually do that, though? Or do you just subscribe to Spotify and just play any song you want, as much as you want? Or any other music service. It doesn't have to be Spotify. I mean, Amazon Prime. Prime example, you get a music subscription as part of Amazon Prime. You can listen to any song you want.
Yeah.
Some people don't do that. Well, the Amazon subscription is weird. Like, if you have, like, Alexa devices, you have to pay, like, extra fees. It's not very much. It's, like, a couple bucks to, like, play music on multiple Alexa devices. It's weird. But, again, that's how they're getting you. The nickel and the diamond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's why they switched to services.
But the funny thing is, on the Alexas,
everything.
you could just, if you're subscribed to Spotify, you can just play Spotify on every single Alexa. It doesn't really matter because it's a separate app. But, Retro Geek from our live stream chat says, I'd love them to go complete backwards compatibility and do the service like that. I think a lot of people, I mean, everyone's basically doing it but Nintendo, and everybody doing it doesn't mean that you should do it, right? Like, everybody doing it doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
But if you're going to dabble, what Nintendo's doing just feels off. It's always felt off to me.
Right. It's one of those things that, again, I go back to it's...
So Giancarlo Tomasanoni, he brought a point. I'd rather own my games than subscribe to a service. But we're not talking about either or. At least not now. I hope a day doesn't arrive that we can't actually buy our games. But right now, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about it either or. Right now, we're talking about both. You can do both. On PlayStation and Xbox, you can do both. You can buy or do a subscription service. They're not taking away your ability to buy games. Yet. We hope they never do. I think what will go away first before your ability to buy games is your ability to buy physical games. I don't know that they'll ever take away the ability to buy digital. Like, think about music. You can still buy individual music songs on every music service, basically. Mm-hmm. You can still buy all your movies. Even Netflix movies. You could buy Netflix movies on other services. Like I think on Amazon, you could literally buy Netflix movies. Just buy it. Straight up, $20. Buy the movie. You own it. So, you could still buy the content. The physical aspect of buying content is slowly eroding. And that's a bit of a sad day. Video games is like one of the last bastions holding on to physical. Think about the entertainment world. I never thought about that. Mm-hmm. Video games is kind of it. Like home consoles is kind of like the last bastion of physical. Besides like super niche, like people who are into records and stuff. It's crazy. Because we grew up on everything was physical.
Yeah.
And now we're to the point that like video games are kind of it.
I mean, CDs are gone.
Oh, well, no. Still technically exist.
Well, I mean.
As install discs.
I mean, yeah.
You don't play games off them anymore.
No. I meant like actual music CDs.
Still technically exist.
I know they technically exist.
The only ones you see are like the absolute number one selling albums will a month later appear in a Walmart or something.
I mean, they don't have massive sections like they used to.
Like every artist coming out used to have their disc on shelves, and now that
even like DVDs and Blu-rays too. Yeah. The shelf space that are devoted to those.
The biggest of the big
dwindling.
You could probably find, and that's about it. Like the biggest best-selling stuff you'll find, but you won't find like every movie that's in movie theaters. Not all of it's going to come out physically. Some of it
eventually, no.
Some of it's only going to be digital somewhere.
I mean, especially now with a lot of these companies partnering with these online accounts, streaming services now.
But that's why I want to clarify. Services haven't killed the ability to buy things; they've killed the physical in a certain regard. Mm-hmm. But you can still buy a digital song, a digital movie, and own it and watch it whenever you want, so long as you have electricity, like offline. Literally, you can still buy, download, do whatever you want with the file within legal means. Put it on a server, keep it offline, and watch stuff. That is all still 100% happening and hasn't been taken away. But it's the physical. So you can get both. But bottom line, I mean, physical games are going away, aren't they?
Eventually.
I mean, if you think about it, there's thousands of games available on Switch. Yeah, 70% are digital only. Kind of already there, guys. Look how many games release in the eShop every week. How many new ones are added to your local Walmart every week in comparison? Guess what? You know that thing we were just talking about with like the movies and the CDs? Like only the biggest of the big ones appear on store shelves?
Yeah.
Isn't that what's happening with video games already?
I mean, yes. The thing is a lot of these like ones that are coming out on the eShop though too, a lot of them are, smaller studios that generally probably don't have the money to
garbage.
Are shovelware garbage and are kind of smaller studios that
don't have
the money to necessarily print a whole piss ton of physical copies.
I'm thinking I'm gonna release the game on the eShop and just call it Moneymaker, and I'm gonna sell it for 10 cents. And all it's gonna be, you turn it on and it's just an I win button. It's just an I win button.
Never gonna give you up.
You just hit it and it goes I win.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the whole game. But people are going to buy it. They're going to meme it like they did Calculator.
Yeah.
They're going to meme it, and I'm going to make billions selling a 10-cent I win button.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
A 10-cent I win button app. That's all it is. Billions. Brilliant. Brilliant!
Let's do it.
People aren't going to care. It's only 10 cents. That's fine. I hope millions of you spend 10 cents. Thank you so much. I would love to report a 10 million seller in the I win button.
Yeah. Winner! And then once out of every 100, it's like, you suck.
Yes, you have to have the Easter egg and not 100's too soon.
Yeah.
It's got to be like one after like 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
There's a random like once every 3,000, it'll randomly be like, you suck. Wait, what? That's the I win, but I win. Ugh, I swear and there'll be this whole thing going on. Did it actually say it's we don't believe it until we see it. There'll be live streams of people just smashing the I win until it says it. Well, let's find out if the I win button really says you suck.
Yeah. Let's do it. I like this idea.
I'm telling you though, like, it's so dumb that it would work.
Oh, it would be.
10-cent game.
Yeah.
It would work. Might even be able to sell it for $1. I don't know. Am I pushing too much at $1? 99 cents. I don't know.
Oh, don't
I got a $2 super chat today. That's 2 purchases of it.
Yeah. I mean,
2 right there.
We could then put we'd have to space out the quote unquote space out the times of the press of the button, and you could spend money to shorten that time so you can re-push the button again.
You can only push the button once every 5 seconds. However, if you buy the season
gold or diamonds,
if you buy the season pass for $5.99 a month, you can press it as fast as you want.
Yep.
As fast as you can click that button.
Yep.
I win. You saw what? I think I missed it. Yeah, you're pressing too fast.
Yeah.
Well, you want to slow it back down? Now you got an unseason pass for an additional $5.99.
Yes. Oh, son of a bitch. We're geniuses.
I'm telling you, something like this would absolutely take off. Something dumb. I don't know if we can get it approved to release, but if we can get it approved to release.
You don't need it really approved to release in the freaking Google Play Store.
I'm not talking about Google Play. I want it on Switch. I want that motherfucker on Switch.
I mean, yeah.
And I will discount it down to a penny to get to the top of the actual number 1 bestseller, and then I jack the price back to 99 cents. After I manipulate the system, which, by the way, everyone's already doing this, so you kind of have to do this to get noticed anyway. Yeah. Or would I even need to? I have a starter audience, right? All of you 88 concurrent people watching, you'd buy it, right?
Yeah.
You'd buy my I'd win button. You'd buy it, right? Right? All of you would do it? Come on now. Can I get thousands of people just from my channel to buy it, and that's enough to get it charting, and then all of a sudden it just naturally climbs from there?
Right.
A YouTuber makes a brilliant...
makes the stupidest game in the world.
You always win, except for that one time you don't.
You suck.
You suck. And then it does the whole game over.
Yeah, right? The game just doesn't work anymore.
The game just crashes. It just crashes.
You have to repurchase it for $1.
What the fuck just happened? The game just bricked itself. No, you don't repurchase. When you boot it back up, sorry, would you like an extra life?
After 100,
you finally get the you suck.
Yeah.
Would you like an extra life?
100,000 presses, extra life for $1. Jesus Christ.
That's great. This is such a brilliant moneymaker. Why are we not doing this?
I don't know.
No one would feel guilty because they would only ever end up spending like maximum $5 ever in their life on this game. They wouldn't miss the McDoubles they could have bought with that.
Right.
And we just get rich.
Right.
For the dumbest thing. Now, here's the problem. Because we made this public, someone else is already on it right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, one of our developer buddies is watching right now.
Wait.
Like, shit, I'm making this now. It's happening.
Dude. Oh, wait. We're live. But the live stream comes down, and then
there's only 88. I think we're safe right now.
You just beep out the whole back end of this
I think we're safe.
Podcast.
I think we're small enough now. I'm not too worried about anyone stealing. I mean, Eric, get those development chops going again.
I know, right?
I want to see you bust that one. You make it for phone. We find a way to get it converted for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
We just release it on everything at once.
Yeah.
Because, see, I think on phone it'll be harder. Because I'm pretty sure if I look it up, there probably already is like an I win button on phones.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, I'm sure there is. But there is not one on Switch. Especially one that has this little game in it that eventually tells you suck and game over. That definitely does not exist on Switch. But I guarantee there's an I win button. Because there was a couple of the button things you could download that I've seen on the App Store.
There's a win button. There's win button. Will you press the button? Green button, which actually has a red button as the image. Realian button. I don't know what the hell that is. Yes, they got an emotional damage button.
Of course they do.
Emotional damage.
Okay, I win button.
Oh my god, this is great. Oh, hold on. This might actually be a better button. Although I probably shouldn't play this out loud.
Probably
Don't
not.
want to get copyrighted.
There is no I win button on the App Store.
But they have this. They have this button.
You can hit that. Hit it for the crowd.
These nuts.
Hit it again.
Come on.
Oh, there's an ad.
Fucking ad.
Yep, an ad.
There it is. You get to push it once, and you get a fucking ad.
I wouldn't do the ad. I wouldn't.
Oh.
Close the ad.
These nuts. These nuts.
Yeah.
These nuts.
Yeah.
Somehow the volume got turned down inside the app.
Well, you know, it's a really well developed.
Do I want to
app.
rate the app? No.
It's a really well developed app.
Oh wait, hold on. There's more.
Wait, they have other buttons.
Got him.
Oh my god. All right. I think that means it's probably time to go. We're now hitting button apps in our phone. All right, guys.
God.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Nintendo Prime podcast this week. We didn't get into the grander talk I wanted to do about Prime Gaming Fest, but that's all right.
Shit.
I think I'm going to have a lot more stuff planned out by next week, and we will probably do an entire podcast about Prime Gaming Fest next week. Unless... Side note is unless there's some really, really big Nintendo news that drops that we absolutely have to talk about, then it might just be a bonus discussion. We haven't done a bonus episode in a while, so
No,
doing it as a bonus episode could work out if there's a lot of news. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you still haven't clipped
And by the way, bonus.
You still haven't even clipped a whole lot of these
By the way, bonus
podcasts
discussions
either.
aren't live, so
Yeah,
there's that as well.
yeah.
So.
I mean, you still have yet to clip a lot of these podcasts.
Oh,
too.
I don't even know the podcast up. So
I mean, yeah, there is that.
let's just be honest. I can't clip until I'm caught up.
I mean, that's
I don't
very
get
true.
caught up because I'm too busy. And it's not the downloading. I just got to teach you how to level audio. It's so easy.
Yeah,
It really is. I could get you. You could literally do this shit at work. You don't have to listen to the whole podcast. It's so easy.
yeah, I probably could do this shit.
It's so easy. It's so easy. I just like putting the. It's just the time to download it, and then you have to render it out after you level out the audio. You got to put the intro and the outro on. You got to level out the audio, and then literally just re-render it out and upload. I can take care of it once it's uploaded, but I just run out of time because it ends up downloading an episode takes like 40 minutes, which I need that 40 minutes to do something else because it slows down the internet. And then
Just download
and
it
then
overnight.
I have to render it. And while I render it, it takes a little bit because it eats up all the processing on my computer. And you can say, well, just render it on this one. That's probably what I should be doing is all the editing on this one so then it doesn't eat up that one. But I don't think about that at the time because I'm already sitting at my editing computer. Why wouldn't I just edit at my editing computer? Because I'm not thinking of the best use of my time when I have multiple pieces of equipment and I'm pretending to be two people at once working on two computers at once. I know, I'm an idiot.
And I mean,
You're
could
an
just,
idiot.
and you could just download everything overnight.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in to episode 51. And for
This
someone
one
to
took
want to
a
know why
real
Nintendo
turn.
Academy wasn't on, he just wasn't around when we started. That's
Yeah,
literally
he
it.
showed up in
He
chat.
popped up like 2 hours in.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on online at the beginning when we started. That's literally it. It wasn't like we kicked him off.
You suck.
Damn it. You suck. He just wasn't online. It is what it is. Yeah, to be fair, we haven't done one on a Wednesday, I think, in like 3 weeks. So you probably didn't think we had one tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. And we didn't actually start on time either.
And we
But
also didn't have it scheduled ahead of time like we usually do.
There's
So
also
he
that.
didn't see that. So he probably, they're not doing one tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the communication breakdown was pretty bad. AKA nobody communicated.
Oh.
I did say hi to him
Yeah. Yeah.
and got no response. But
And then we follow up with the sequel, You Suck button.
you suck button. I wonder, how evil do I want to be? So when Prime Gaming Fest starts, we start the countdown. But in the countdown, we go, we don't officially start the show until there's $100 in Super Chats.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just be evil.
That would be evil.
Just be evil.
And,
What the fuck?
Here's
It's
the
just
thing.
nonstop Nintendo. Watch. Be out of principle. Nobody super chats. And
Yeah,
for
that's what I
6
was gonna
straight
say.
days, we're just streaming music. We keep all the items.
Our banging.
we keep all the giveaway items.
Our banger starts to our.
That would be so evil. Oh my god, that'd
Yeah, right.
be evil. No one would ever let me live that down. You money grubbing piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. So starting the stream, we're giving away $400 right away. Let's go.
Right. Yeah.
Right away. I mean, to be honest, at the very beginning of the stream, it's already got a $120 giveaway.
Yeah,
with
no, I
2
know.
copies of
No, I know.
Mario Strikers.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Perfect.
As we're talking about evil ways to make money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
We're not an evil corporation.
the I win button. Slave labor. I'm gonna make Eric make all the work, and I'm gonna take all the profits.
Yeah.
Slave labor.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.
Later.